And good morning, happy Friday. Welcome to today's edition of The Source here on WURD 96.1 FM, 900 AM, and of course streaming live on WURDradio.com. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page. Hello to all the folks who are checking us out on Facebook. I'm Tiffany Bacon, back at my usual spot. So happy to be here on this absolutely glorious Friday. Thank you so much for stopping by. I have an awesome potpourri of topics today. You'll get to meet some great folks in the community doing amazing things. As always, I'd love to hear from you. Reach out, give us a call, 215-634-8065. Let's start off today's conversation with speaking to a young man who is joining us for the first time on The Source. He is a mortgage advocate with the Philadelphia Unemployment Project, and they have some really great things going on, so listen up. We have James Jackson joining us this morning. James, good morning and welcome to The Source on WURD. How are you?
Good morning. How are you?
I am breathing on schedule. Thank you so much. I appreciate you being here.
Thank you. I appreciate you having me on. There's some really important stuff going on in the community, and we're trying to get the word out, and so every little bit helps.
Absolutely, absolutely. So first and foremost, tell us about the Philadelphia Unemployment Project.
Well, Philadelphia Unemployment Project has been around for a long time. If you were in the city in the 80s, during the economic downturn then, you probably heard of them. They were key players in organizing the March on Washington to demand unemployment and housing benefits. They've continued to represent the unemployed and underemployed and disadvantaged of the city of Philadelphia ever since. And their services are really important right now because there's lots of people who have trouble getting their unemployment. They're getting through to unemployment on the unemployment office's customer service line. Getting help with their housing because they're out of work and not getting money from unemployment, etc. So we help with all those things. We also have a commuter options program that takes people in carpools from the city to suburban jobs.
Fantastic. I love that. And as you mentioned before, this is a service that is really needed right now. The coronavirus and quarantine has really wreaked havoc on a lot of people's livelihood, and we need the support and assistance. So if somebody does need to reach out, where can they go? Like right now, if they need to reach out to you guys today for any and all services, where can they go?
All right, well, you can go to philaup.org. That's PHILAUP.org. You can contact our phones. We actually answer our phones. I don't have the number memorized because this is a temporary gig for me, but it's 215-557-0822. Extensive phone system, so you can narrow down who you're talking to by what you need to talk to us about. Like I said, we help with unemployment. We also help with renters who are having trouble pay their rent. We help with folks who are having trouble pay their mortgage, and we help keep folks in their homes. So, if you're receiving eviction notices or notices from the bank and you don't understand them, or even if you do understand them and you need some help, you need some time, get in touch with us.
Okay, so let's talk about the folks who say, let's start with the renters. A lot of people received eviction notices during this time of shutdown. What are the qualifications for being able to receive help from you guys?
From us, we'll help no matter what.
Okay.
But we're not folks giving out money.
Okay.
There is an emergency rental assistance program. It's part of the CARES Act. I don't know. I hope everybody's heard of the CARES Act by now, because it created all the benefits that everybody's receiving. But you might not have heard of the RRP or PMAP. The RRP, the Rental Assistance Program, Philadelphia has its own special one, but there's one in every county of every state of the country. And it is limited in Pennsylvania. It's up to $1,500 a month towards your rent if you missed any payments between March and December of this year.
Okay.
They've just extended the deadline. The new deadline is November 4th to apply for that assistance. So even if you're not in trouble just yet, like even if you're all caught up on your payments, all caught up on your rent, but you've if you're either on unemployment or you've had a 30% reduction in income since last year. So say you're comparing paychecks from last year and this year, and last year you made 30% more than this year, apply. Get that application in now.
Okay.
Even if you don't, on paper, like feel like you qualify or feel like you need the help, get the application in.
Okay.
Because none of us are the ones who make the decision on who qualifies. The PHFA does. So.
I see. Okay. If you are someone who's already, say your landlord has already started the eviction process, but they couldn't actually complete it because of the shutdown, but now you have a court date. Anyone in that situation, would they be able to receive help and assistance from this program?
Yes, they do qualify, just so long as they qualify from the financial perspective. So long as they're, the reason they're in trouble is because of the COVID crisis, then they qualify to receive help from this program. But Philadelphia Unemployment Project also helps people avoid eviction through a couple of other programs. Some are Philadelphia specific. So there's the eviction diversion program, which all landlords that are legit landlords in the city of Philadelphia, if you are receiving an eviction notice from an actual landlord, they're going through the court system. And the court system, landlord-tenant court, requires that all landlords send you an additional notice that invites you to a meeting in the eviction diversion program. During that meeting, you'll sit with a housing counselor and you'll sit with an arbitrator, and you'll sit with your landlord, and they'll discuss what you can afford to pay and try to catch up on your rent.
Okay.
So that's one way that evictions have been halted and or stopped. Another thing is that there's a CDC eviction moratorium. So the CDC, the Centers for Disease Control, it's a federal government agency, have issued an eviction moratorium. You cannot be evicted from your home if that would make you homeless. And you can sign an affidavit to that effect, that you've tried to everything you can to pay your rent, but you can't. And this would make you homeless. And if you sign that affidavit at any point during the eviction process, up until there's actually a sheriff at your door, you can sign this affidavit and deliver it to your landlord, and that will halt the eviction process. Now, there's a lot of legal stuff involved in that affidavit. It has to be very specifically worded, and there's a general one that is out there in the public. I personally don't recommend that you use that on your own. I recommend that you contact us or contact the Save Your Home Philly hotline.
Okay.
The Save Your Home Philly hotline offers legal advice through PLA and offers connection to housing counselors like Philadelphia Unemployment Project and housing counselors within PLA and CLS.
Okay. And what's that hotline number for anybody who's like, let me grab a pen right now?
Grab a pen. It's at saveyourhomephilly.org. It's all one word, all squished together. And then the number is 215-334-4663. And the last 4 digits spell the word home. So it's 215-334-HOME.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, they offer, you know, they'll connect you with somebody, especially if you're facing imminent eviction. Yeah. You'll get immediate help.
That is amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. We spent a lot of time talking about the renters. What is the program that you have, excuse me, for those who hold a mortgage?
So there's the PMAP program, that's Pandemic Mortgage Assistance Program. Mm-hmm. The PMAP program is up to $1,000 per month towards any missed payments, again, between March and December. And the application deadline is also November 4th, just like the rental program. Mm-hmm. So some of the things have changed as far as qualifications, and there's a lot of confusion out in the public about how to qualify for this program or if I qualify for this program. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to make it real simple again and just say, if you're having trouble, apply for the assistance. Like, don't worry about if you qualify.
Okay.
They'll tell you if you qualify or not. It doesn't hurt to apply. There's no legal ramifications to you applying for this assistance. It won't affect your credit. I had somebody say to me, "Oh, I thought this would be a negative on my credit if I applied for this assistance." I'm like, no, no.
Okay.
No, it's not going to affect your credit. It's not going to hurt you.
Okay. That's a real concern, though. Yeah. Some people just can't afford that ding on the credit.
Well, I mean,
out, you know,
if it's between missing mortgage payments and having one person check on your credit score, I would have the person check on your credit score. Mm-hmm. Going forward, the application deadline is November 4th. One of the other things that PUP does is we do advocacy, and we're trying to advocate for refunding of the HEMAP program. That's HEMAP. HEMAP program has existed for a long time. It's existed since the 80s. And when you get that, there's a Title 91 notice. It's part of that Title 91 that created those notifications. Mm-hmm. And it's a similar program to PMAP. Basically, they modeled PMAP program on HEMAP, but where PMAP is grants, HEMAP is a loan. So it will, it's designed to help folks who are temporarily out of work for no fault of their own, mm-hmm. to catch up on their mortgage. It, pays off any missed payments on your mortgage, and then it creates a payback plan for those missed payments.
Okay.
So we're working on that for the new year, because we won't get more funding into it until January at the earliest. But there will continue to be programs to keep people in their homes. We just, if you're having trouble, get in touch with us. We don't want people out on the street.
Absolutely. And I'm so grateful that you guys are there, that you have these options for people, whether they're renting or whether they have a mortgage. Because folks do need some assistance. And like you said, it doesn't hurt to apply. So give us that information again. How can people apply, find out more about the programs for renters or mortgage holders? So
I would say first thing they do is give us a call at the Philadelphia Unemployment Project. That's philaup.org. And then, use our phone system, leave a voicemail if you don't get right through to somebody. We do actively return calls. We're only like 8 people, but you know, that we actively return calls all day and we actively answer the phones all day. I obviously can't right now because I'm on here with you, but I'm one of the people that answers the phones. Like, you know, it's not huge, like odd, you know, like black box government organization. We're just a few folks working in a nonprofit trying to help people out. So 215-557-0822. We're on Facebook. Fill it up on Facebook. So fillitup.org, fill it up on Facebook. That phone number, you know, get a hold of us and we'll talk. You know, I had a lady call me and she said, so I don't know if I qualify for anything, but I'm having a little hard time because my air conditioner got stolen. And so, you know, like, come to find out, you know, through a long list of listening to her and talking with her, you know, I found a few things that could help her. And, you know, we're all more than happy to help with, you know, if you're having a hard time staying in your home, I don't know, you know, it doesn't matter what the reason is. It doesn't matter why you fell on hard times. Let's get you some connections to some help that you can use.
That's awesome. It's always good to know that there is some place to go. Sometimes people just think, I'm in this thing, it's difficult, and I don't know if there's any help out there. So it's great to know that there's at least a place you can go. And if you guys can't help a person directly, it sounds like you're able to redirect them to some other organization or program that can further assist them in what they need.
Absolutely. We do that all the time.
I love it. All right, James, thank you. James Jackson, representing the Philadelphia Unemployment Project. Thank you so much for taking a little bit of your morning to speak with our listeners, to let them know the programs that are available. I will type the number in the chat on our Facebook Live stream right now. Hello to all the live listeners and the live viewers. I appreciate y'all as always. And also to the callers, if you can go to your smartphone or to your computer, look at our Facebook Live feed, and I will post this information there should you need it. James, thank you so much, and best of luck with everything that you're doing.
Thank you. Really appreciate the time.
Not a problem. Hey, y'all, listen, I have to take a break. And like I said, I have a potpourri of topics today. We are staying community focused for the majority of our show today. You're going to meet some other folks who are out in the streets doing stuff, good stuff. Sometimes they're in the street, sometimes they're on Zoom, but you're going to love what they do, I promise. So stay with us. We'll be right back with more conversation after this.
Tune in every Saturday at 4 p.m. for the Did You Know Show with host Bryant Green, right here on WURD 96.1 FM and 900 AM.
Just one more step. You got it.
You're doing great. This is the sound of a nationally ranked top rehabilitation hospital, home to the largest collection of robotics in the United States, where we continually exceed patient expectations, because no injury is too severe or too minor for our care.
There you go.
This is the sound of success. Moss Rehab. Challenge accepted.
If you're thinking of voting by mail this election, remember that it's safe, it's secure, and it counts. But there are a few things to keep in mind. While the application deadline is October 27th, you should apply now and send your ballot back as early as possible, before November 3rd. When it comes to sending it back, you can drop it in the mail, use a designated drop box, or return it to a satellite election office. To find one or for more information, visit PhiladelphiaVotes.com.
Listen to Laborers Live.
We created the weekend, we created the 40-hour work week. We just want enough to feed our family, be able to send our children to college, and let our next generation do better than we did.
To people that might have forgot how important unionism is in a country like the United States. People now infringing on our 8-hour work day, trying to work people more than 8 hours without overtime, trying to work people without benefits. In the long run, everybody's getting fat paycheck except the worker. So this is really a wake-up call for America.
The struggle is continuous. Tune in to Laborers Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. Sponsored by LESIT, the Laborers Employers Cooperation Education Trust of the Laborers District Council of Philadelphia and vicinity.
Local 332, Sam Staten Jr. Business Manager. Local 57, Esteban Vera Business Manager. Local 135, Dan Woodall Jr. Business Manager. Local 413, James Harper Jr. Business Manager. The Laborers District Council, Ryan Boyer Business Manager, and Tony Staten, Executive Director of LESIT.
New Voices for Reproductive Justice is registering Black women and their families in Philly to vote. The general election is on November 3rd. You can register to vote online at rock.vote/New Voices. That's rock.vote/New Voices. The deadline to register is October 19th. If you need assistance registering to vote, visit newvoicesrj.org.
Are you hungry today? Have your taste buds been sufficiently pampered? Call Eatable Delights for succulent and juicy turkey wings, no-filler crab cakes, or tender smoky beef ribs. You can pick up curbside or get delivery in Philadelphia, Montgomery, South Jersey, Delaware, and Bucks County. Call 215-236-3900 or stop by 1540 Wadsworth Avenue. That's 215-236-3900 because even your taste buds deserve pampering. And tell them Solomon Jones sent you.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
And welcome back to today's edition of The Source on WURD. I'm Tiffany Bacon. I am your host. Welcome to this absolutely beautiful Friday. I want to encourage you, if you can, to go outside and soak in some of the sunshine. Look at the leaves turning different colors on the trees. Just enjoy and appreciate nature. if you have a moment to do so. In this segment of the program, we're going to talk with some folks who represent a theater company that is near and dear to my heart. Because when I say they are all about uplifting the community, they are all about uplifting the community. They've been around for a while. You've heard me speak about them and to them on this show. But we're going to talk about some of the events that they have going on during this time of COVID. I welcome back to the program Mr. Carlo Campbell, representing Theater in the X. Hey, Carlo, welcome back.
Hey, Tiff. What's going on? I'm happy to be back.
We breathing on schedule over up in here. And exactly. We're excited to share with the listening and viewing audience the things that you have going on. For anybody who is viewing this show for the first time and they are not familiar with Theater in the X, please break it down, who y'all are and what y'all do.
We have a theater company that we established in West Philadelphia about 8 years ago. We just wanted to do something for Black people. We just wanted to get out there and be able to. When I was studying theater and I was working on my career as an actor, working to blaze a path or go towards a path that was appropriate for me or seemed like was built for my vehicle, I found that a lot of those roads were shut down or demolished, and I couldn't figure it out. And now I found out, wow, it cost hella money to build up a theater company, and there aren't a lot of interest in helping Black people keep their thing together. Then there's this natural human nature stuff like power, and they say absolute power corrupts, absolutely. And you see people, they finally do get to the little bag, but then they get a little high and mighty, and they get beside themselves, and maybe they squander the resources. Who knows? But it initially started with just wanting to get out there and do something for the people. I had never seen anything done in Malcolm X Park before. And I've heard and seen theater done in many parks throughout the world. Namely, I guess what came to mind first is Central Park and Clark Park. And when I would go out to Clark Park, even though we're in very close proximity to Clark Park, I guess it's property values or property juxtaposition to the space, you don't see a lot of Black people or Black people who come from the place I want to service. And I don't think that Black people who come from other places don't have value. Don't get it twisted. It's just that Black people who come from the 52nd Street area primarily, they don't feel welcome in those sorts of places. And I wanted to make theater that made them feel welcome there. And shucks, if I'm doing something, you welcome anywhere we do it. So I wanted to buck that convention. So we started out doing our plays. People thought it was a zany idea. And we grabbed it by the horns and we showed it to people, said, hey, look at this stair. This is a cool little cow, ain't it? And here we are, 2020. The world is ending and I feel fine.
I mean, can you be more dark? But is it possible you put that Crayola 68 on that? That black opal darkness on that statement.
That's ultra black.
Well, yeah, let's just talk about that because 2020 has put a monkey wrench in everybody's program. It doesn't matter what your program is or was. Corona has destroyed a lot. And in the destruction, I am amazed and excited by how artists like yourself and everybody else who's a part of Theater in the X find ways to keep going, find ways to serve the community. Even though you weren't able to do your big production in the park this year because of COVID, because of social distancing, there were still other things that you did do. What were some of those things that you did to help serve the community this summer?
Well, one of our partners, Eric Carter, came up with the idea to present a story called Since Past King. It's a children's story. And I had the idea a long time ago. I'm very interested in how to make literacy dope, and how do everybody's seen when the dad's trying to get the child to eat, they try to fly the airplane, and they fly the toy, and then the child's like, and then they slip the spoon in. Like, how do you do that with reading, and like deceive them in that best way? Like, it's best for us to be literate and find joy in gaining information or gaining understanding. And so the initiative was to take story time around to kids in schools, but we never had it up on its feet. And then Corona came. And we were, like everyone else in the world, aggrieved and in flux concerning our level of optimism, and definitely in limbo concerning how to move forward, how to move in the present, how to move, So the city has an initiative called Play Streets. Okay. I'm sure a lot of people that are watching this or hearing this or will eventually come across this have seen Play Streets in some iteration around one of their neighborhoods. And somebody from Play Streets reached out to our partner and co-founder, Lanish Miller-White, and said, hey, do we have anything that we can bring to the neighborhoods? And she was like, she brought up that idea. And what we did is we took the Sense Pass King and we had a narrator with a mask on read it. And the truth, we acted out the play. So we did all the actions. And, sometimes when it was like a little talking, we nodded our head, it's kind of like,
Panama style.
Panama style. But actually, if we was moving our mouths kind of, it was like the Transformers. Like we were all Optimus Prime. Like, rah, 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 rah. But, yeah, and we took that to neighborhoods. And all in all, I'm very encouraged about what came out of it. So that's a beautiful thing. It's easy to pick at the narrative and find the things that I wish we could have done or I wish were done, but I'm very happy at what we did do because it was an easy time to put our tail between our legs and kind of just go, hey, all right, see you guys when the world comes back, and we did not. And we found a way to inspire the children and, by golly gee, inspire ourselves.
Why did you sound like all of a sudden you came from like Leave It to Beaver? Like, where did that come from?
I love Beaver Cleaver. Come on, man. Who doesn't love Beaver Cleaver?
Oh my goodness. I love you. If you're just tuning in, you're checking out The Source on WURD. I'm Tiffany Bacon here with Carlo Campbell, one of the founding members of Theater in the X. We are talking about their amazing contributions to our community here in Philadelphia. If you have any questions or comments, I see somebody posted a comment. I'll read it in a moment. If you have any questions or comments, please feel free to give us a call. This is not pre-recorded, it is live. So I'd love to hear from you. 215-634-8065. That is how you can reach us on the program today. 215-634-8065. Let's check out this comment here on our Facebook live stream. Hello to all those watching the live stream, by the way. Shayna says, love Theater in the X, seen 2 productions. I got something just popped up and got in the way of that. Amazing. Okay. My family and I are certainly missed out on being there this summer, but Rona. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, that's the thing. Like you mentioned, you guys have been around for 8 years. You've done all these different productions in Malcolm X part. What is the best part of producing that yearly series for you?
It actually is the part you forget about the whole time until it goes down, until it's live, because you can't make somebody do something. And the beauty only happens, or the real nature of the beauty only occurs when it's done by virtue of its own choice. So we rip and we roar and we tear to tatters one another when we fall short, and we expect excellence from folks, and we go to and fro trying to make something happen, and we finally get to show up. And maybe I'm not on stage, maybe I'm not in the show, maybe I'm just helping, maybe I'm between the scene, maybe it's just before the show, but you see a pocket of children, maybe independent of their parents or uncles or aunts or grandparents, and they are wrapped with what's going on. They're like, and that is the ish, yo. That's the thing and you can't synthesize it. Like, I can't set up I can theorize that that's what I want. That's what, no, I can be selfish and say, I wish I had it. I never had it, and I deserved it. I could be haughty and say, I deserved it. I never got it. And that's fine. So here we are with it. But what if we had the infrastructure for it before I came? And I just helped somebody who had the infrastructure. So we'd be doing something else, But to see those children, and I hazard to say it because I remember hearing people saying it sounded so cheesy, but they were right. But I don't know, it's just some narrative where people try to program our minds and think that it sounds cheesy. It's not cheesy, and cheese is delicious now. But the kids really into it and immovably into it, like spellbound. And we know our intentions when we get their attention like this. Whereas though there's so many things that have their attention, and we have no idea of their intentions while they have their attention. I know it's so crazy syntactically to be saying intention and intentions. It's out of control. I'm losing my mind. But yeah. That right there, I swear on everything I love, it's that, because when I look at the still pictures, I love the still shots and the great people that come through and production photos, but those photos that really move me, even like the end, the finish party and the rehearsals and the first, everybody meeting for the first time to really get at it. Those are all great things. They're wonderful things. They're beautiful moments. But the most beautiful thing is that thing I mentioned with the kids, seeing the kids engaged and seeing the kids having the choice to be engaged and making that choice.
I love it. All right, we got to take a break in a second, but I want to ask you this. I want you to think about it, and then we'll answer it when you come back, especially in the time of Corona, when so many theater spaces are uncertain if they'll ever open again or when they will actually open. Why is it important to still push through with live performance? So think about that. I don't want you to touch that dial. I do want you, though, to join us on Monday, October 12th, for a very special day-long WURD Environmental Justice Summit. In recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day, we will explore topics at the intersection of Black and Indigenous rights, income, and the environment. This multimedia virtual event will feature Majora Carter, Sherelle Barber, Maurice Sampson, and more from the Source Reporting Collaborative, the Oro family, activists, artists, and other thought leaders. Also, don't miss on this special opportunity to join or renew your onWURD membership. You can do that today, and you can receive your free copy of this month's Black Words Book Club selection, A Terrible Thing to Waste, Environmental Racism and Its Assault on the American Mind by Harriet A. Washington. Join or renew today at WURD.com/4WURD. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more conversation after this.
This is Pastor Alan Waller, and I want to remind you of the immortal words of Pastor Leon Sullivan, not burn, baby, burn, but build, baby, build. Since 1968, the Sullivan Progress Plaza has been the place of entrepreneurship in the Black community. We are still building, baby, build. And we want to invite you to come along with us if you seek to invest in our community and make a difference in the new world that we're going to create. For more information, call 215-232-7070. I want to invite you to be a part of the new future of Philadelphia.
The time is now to put an end to the chronic incompetence of Donald Trump and his League of Liars. Donald Trump makes a mockery of the institution of the presidency. He's polarized our country, and his dangerous policies must not continue. Joe Biden has the character, empathy, and experience to lead us through these challenging times. He helped lead the nation out of the 2008 financial crisis into the longest period of economic growth in our history, and he can do it again. As president, he will heal divisions and unite us around the shared values of justice. He'll create opportunities for quality education and good-paying jobs, and he'll build on the Affordable Care Act, not tear it down. While Donald Trump thinks coronavirus and climate change are a hoax, Joe Biden already has a coronavirus recovery plan and a strategy to create more jobs while also tackling the climate crisis. Vote for a president who will stand on the right side of history. Vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Paid for by Black PAC and Priorities USA Action. BlackPAC.com and PrioritiesUSAAction.org, which are responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
According to the radical left, Kathy Barnett isn't supposed to exist, let alone be a candidate for United States Congress. See, Kathy Barnett is a black woman and a conservative. She spent 10 years in the Armed Forces Reserves. Kathy doesn't fit the victimhood mentality the left is selling. She grew up poor, and despite the odds against her, she built a good life. She loves America, and that's why she's running for Congress. Kathy Barnett not only exists, she lives the American dream.
I'm Kathy Barnett, and I approve this message.
Catch Sincerely Sarita at her new time, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m., beginning Tuesday, October 13th. Followed by the Reverend Al Sharpton. Sincerely Sarita. At her new time, Monday through Thursday, 7 p.m. till 9 p.m., exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook and YouTube.
You're listening to The Source with Tiffany Bacon on WURD Radio. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
Bless my soul, I've been alone too long. Somebody without someone is no one at all. And baby, all these nights I've struggled and fought my pride, scared that someone your type couldn't see past my flaws. 'Cause I heard that heaven ain't easy to get to. Ooh. The closest I'll get might be right next to you. Ooh, if I gotta love, I gotta feel how it feels to be loved by you. Ooh, I gotta touch something real. Can I feel and be loved by you?
Welcome back to today's edition of The Source here on WURD. I'm Tiffany Bacon here with Carlo Campbell, one of the founding members of Theater in the X. Got to give a big shout out because we're not in the same room today. Got to give a big shout out to my producer, Miss Kayla J. She is always the one to provide the good butters in between the conversation. Hey, Miss Kayla J. I don't know if you're near the microphone, but I got to say hi to you this morning.
Good morning.
She's there. She's there. Yes. Thank you so much. What was the song we just heard, ma'am?
Loved by You by Kirby.
Loved by You by Kirby. Now, if you want a playlist, you need to check out this sister's playlist because she provided a playlist. It's in the it's in our newsletter every time we release a newsletter, right?
Right. One came out this week. It's about worthiness.
So if you want a brand new playlist for your listening pleasure, make sure you sign up for the WURD newsletter, and then you can get Miss Kayla J's playlist, and it will bless your soul. I promise. Thank you, Miss Kayla.
You're welcome.
All right. We have Carlo Campbell here from a Theater in the X. I'm going to read some comments from our Facebook live stream in a moment, but I asked you a question right before the break about the importance of still pushing through with live performance, even if they're live-virtual, in this time of COVID and in this time of uncertainty.
Well, even one of the most uncertain things, I have a tendency to do stuff when I'm too ignorant to even be fearful of the reality of it. And we did a virtual reading we planned a virtual reading when there was no blueprint for it ever having had been done. So the only thing that kept us from being arguably the first people to do it that I'd heard of was the fact that we did have rehearsals. But we did it, and that was fine, and it was well received. And I've seen people grow fatigued with the theater on computer model that's been presented. I definitely look forward to the idea of perhaps doing a streamed show of we're really performing the show, but we got multiple cameras. Maybe they're shifting and adjusting. And I assume or presume we probably have to do something that was classic or something that was brand new, so we could, circumvent rights issues and all of that. Or, we want the writer to want to feel right about being a part of what we're doing. So, I segued. I went all over, but I said all that to say, I'm about this action. I'm about that action, Chief. Like we gonna get out there. We gonna get out there and do something. Like the other day, I was a bit disheartened by there are a lot of getting back to it. It's the end of the world. There were people talking about how we may never see movie theaters again. They may die. They may be collateral damage in this renewal of the world, or our finding our footing in the idea of a new world. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. Yeah. But then I thought to myself, yo, that's going to be a hell of a fun opportunity for theaters to pop up and be like, yo, let's put on. There's not the same proliferation of spaces for people to go and kind of be vestigial organs in the body of an experience. Now you get to be an active organ in a real live experience, especially when it comes to being out and being amongst people. Even though we're so selfish nowadays, or selfist, to the point where we say, I just like to be in the movie theater and, I don't know those people. No, you actually go to be with those people. It's part of the thing. It's part of the thing. Now, people can hate it. You can decry it all you want. But inside of you somewhere, the part of you that ain't giving up that tape, you need that. So I look forward to theater seizing that opportunity if that falls by the wayside. But we're gonna have to continue to be the vanguard of expression in lieu of the fact that all of our institutions that back up the way we get busy, their hands are tied. Their bankrolls are tied. Their checkbooks are sequestered. Everything is off the grid now, kids. But for those who don't tell, like, this is just how I get comfortable by being wildy or whatever. I'm rather quite sane. Arguably.
No need to explain yourself, sir. We don't do that here. Thank you.
But we're going to continue to do our thing. Like we just partnered up with UPenn, Susanna Berger, Professor Herman Beavers. We work with the community. Paul Robeson House has been a part of this for many years. It's August Wilson class, August Wilson and beyond, and we're doing a couple of scenes from that. I'll see if Tiffany is cool with putting up the link for it for people to come and join in and see what's going on with the community. That piece. Shout out to Damian Wallace, Nia Colbert, Richard Bradford, Walter DeShields, who's the Hellfire director, Nana. She's our Pam. Yeah, Pam. I didn't forget you. Yeah, because we're doing that, and that's something that's a continuation of that that virtual component that we were talking about. But
and
yeah,
what's the link so I can put it in our chat section of our live feed?
Yeah. I didn't even anticipate. I don't even want to like risk losing you by sending you something right now.
Okay.
And I would have to go copy. And so anybody who's interested in what they heard in regards to how I presented it, please come back and check out the stuff, or maybe she could put that link. Yeah, we'll figure it out. It's gonna get done.
Or better yet, when we're done our chat, you can go right over to our live feed chat and post it yourself.
Booyah.
There you go. I love it. Let me read a couple of comments before we close out on this segment. We have James. Hey, Jay. Jay Mercer says, Black kids getting to see one of the oldest human traditions, and hopefully some will continue it. Theater in the X is doing God's work in Philly. Diane James.
Oh, Jay.
Yeah, Jay, always supporting. Diane James says, how can this be made a citywide project so that children in all sections of Philly get to learn and enjoy this? Thank you. James Jackson replied to her by saying, you can help support and advocate for Theater in the X. Subscribe to them on Facebook, donate and advocate for them with other donors. So, I mean, the support is just flowing here on the live feed. So again, how can you give us a website or a link, something that I can post so people can follow y'all and continue to enjoy what you present in Philly?
Of course. Well, Miss, what's her name? Miss Jane or Miss James?
Miss Diane James.
Miss Diane Jean. Miss Diane, we're definitely looking forward to the idea of expanding and being in more than just West Philly. West Philly is just our backyard. It's where we started. And, you got to keep the foundation together, to build on top of it. I look forward to doing stuff. We look forward to doing stuff in North Philly, South Philly, places where they have us, community organizations, doing workshops and all manner of things. So you can check out the work that we have done in the past, www.theaterinthex.com. TheatreInthex.com. You'll get to see photos from all of our previous productions, and we've done productions throughout the city, and we've partnered with a lot of people throughout the city. So it's not just West Philly, but I don't want to say just West Philly, like that would minimize West Philly, because I'm from West Philly. But please check out the website and see what we're doing. And if you're so moved to be implement of that development and evolution, please move. Let the spirit move you and help us be a part of that. Help us adjust to that. And we do plan on taking stuff straight to the streets a little more, especially as our as time passes and the need avails itself and the spirit moves us. I'm a very spirit moved person, so I didn't say that just funnily. I said it truthfully.
I love it. Carlo Campbell, thank you so much for being a part of the show today and sharing your love for theater, your love for Philly, and your love for the work. I thank you so much.
Thank you, muchacha. I love you. I love you.
I love you back. All right, y'all. Please don't touch that dial. We are going to talk to some more folks in Philly doing good things for Philly. Another event you want to know about. It's coming up. You're going to find out all about it after this.
Over 200,000 dead.
They are dying. That's true. It is what it is.
Millions unemployed.
It is what it is.
It doesn't have to be. Joe Biden has a plan to get us out of Trump's mess. Good paying jobs, investing in black communities, and strengthening our health care. Trump might not care, but Joe Biden does. Make a plan to vote. Our lives depend on it.
Paid for by AFSCME People, which is responsible for the content of this ad. AFSCMEPeople.org. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Pico has many ways to help you lower your energy usage and save money at home. Here's one. If your heating and cooling system is more than 20 years old, it may be time for your contractor to replace it with a high-efficiency Energy Star certified model. You'll get a rebate from PECO and save on your monthly electric bill. You'll find a list of new heating and cooling system rebates at PECO.com/rebates. Or you can call 1-888-5-PECO-SAVE for all the details. Plus, find instant discounts on smart thermostats and more at PECO.com/marketplace. There's free shipping on orders over $49.
If you're thinking of voting by mail this election, remember that it's safe, it's secure, and it counts. But there are a few things to keep in mind. While the application deadline is October 27th, you should apply now and send your ballot back as early as possible, before November 3rd. When it comes to sending it back, you can drop it in the mail, use a designated drop box, or return it to a satellite election office. To find one or for more information, visit PhiladelphiaVotes.com.
Looking for employment? JD's Auto Body and Painting is hiring. They have 2 positions if you have 5 years experience in auto body and framework. Also seeking painter with 5 years experience. And if you have experience as an A or B assembler, JD's Auto Body can be the place for you. Please call JD's Auto Body at 215-848-5949 or email JD's Auto Body and Painting at Comcast.net. Tune in Saturdays from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. to hear Empire Capital and Consulting founder Mark Palmer's show titled Black Money, Black Power. This show centers around black money and how black power is derived from money. Tune in every Saturday from 2 p.m. to 3 p.m. Black Money, Black Power. Hosted by Mark Palmer.
The WURD Radio newsletter, keeping you informed, engaged, and connected. Sign up by visiting WURDradio.com. Scroll to the bottom of the page and type your email address under Connect with Us. You'll receive the latest information on WURD Radio, messages from our president and CEO, Sarah Lomax Reese, exclusive articles and multimedia content, and resources. Stay informed with the WURD Radio newsletter. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Independent Black Media.
Yeah. I know that the way that I am is a bit complicated, so thank you for waiting. Thank you for your patience. You're the reason we made it. Here, then I'm gone. I leave you alone. But you're never phased, yeah. And for that I'm grateful. But I don't wanna let you down, down, down. But when I do, you're on the ground, ground, ground too. Pick me up when I've had enough. And I know it's not easy for you. I know it must be hard to love somebody like me. I know it must be hard to love somebody like me. And when I start to lose myself, you keep holding on to me. I know it must be to love somebody like me. I know that sometimes you think I'm gonna leave you behind, get caught in this life. Yeah, you should know I need you by my side. You figured me out when no one knew how. You're the place I feel safe, so for that I'm grateful. But I don't wanna let you down, down, down. But when I do, you're on the ground, ground, ground too. Pick me up when I've had enough. And I know it's not easy for you. Yeah, I know it must be hard to love somebody like me. I know it must be hard to love somebody like me. And when I start to lose myself, you keep holding on to me. Yeah.
Back to the source here on WURD 96.1 FM, 900 AM and streaming live on WURDradio.com. I am your host, Tiffany Bacon, back in my usual spot. It's been great filling in for the evening show for the past couple of weeks. Happy to be home here with you in this time slot, though. I will say that. Thank you for being a part of the show. Much love to all of our Facebook live stream viewers. I appreciate your presence. We have a potpourri of topics today. We are talking heavily about our community and the people who are in our community who are doing great things to make it even better, to provide resources, to provide information, inspiration, and entertainment. And I want to introduce you to a group of folks called Regular Fellows. And we're going to find out what they are all about. I would like to welcome MJ. And who else do we have on the line? Alex is joining us, and Tiffany. Good morning to all. Welcome to the program.
Good morning. Good morning. Thanks for having us.
Good morning. Good morning.
Thank you all. I appreciate you being here. I want to start with MJ. What is Regular Fellas? What do y'all do? What is this about?
Yeah, we always get that question, Tiffany. Thanks for having us. You know, Regular Fellas, as you can see, our board here is myself, Alex, and Tiffany. So they always, you know, ask about the fellows part. But Tiffany definitely has no issue with that title. You know, we are a grassroots nonprofit organization that serve pretty much the tri-state area. We have a home in the Germantown section of Philadelphia. Is kind of where we were created. And, you know, we're grassroots. We have our foot in the ground with the community with needs, issuing programs in financial literacy, mentorship programs. And what we do is we really serve and hear the community's needs. You know, we've been doing this for a long time without the name Regular Fellas Foundation. You know, we just were doing it just from our hearts and serving, you know, as far as our own ministry. And, you know, the name came about kind of connected with my dad. My dad was a Hall of Fame boxing trainer who had a boxing gym for named Regular Fellas. He was training for 62 years. And, you know, when we put this connection together, we thought it was about boxing and sports, but he was serving. And, you know, we thought it was a great fit to name the foundation after that to continue that, you know, that legacy of serving. You know, so that's kind of a high level, you know, what we do. We also have events throughout the year. That's kind of our signature. We have a back to school event, which, you know, a lot of people do. But we register the kids at the back to school event. And then we follow them through the school year. And we have a report card event at LaSalle University every year and give the kids a reward for their excellence in academics. And the kids that have, you know, struggling, we also have tutoring services for them as well. You know, so we serve at Thanksgiving, during the holidays, at Christmas as well, different homeless shelters around the city. So we just try to stay busy and, you know, just follow the theme of serving. Our theme is people help people, and that's kind of high level. I'm a co-founder with my partner, Alex. I don't know if he can introduce himself, and then Tiffany can give a backdrop and also how, you know, what her role is with Regular Fellas as well.
All right. Yes, definitely want to hear from you, Alex. Hey, Alex, are you there? Can't hear you.
No.
All right, we can hear you now.
I think you're muted. Here you go.
All right. Well, I can't hear Alex right now, but if we can go over to Tiffany. Tiffany, can you tell us more about your involvement here with Goodfellas? Regular Fellas. Goodfellas, Lord have mercy. Regular Fellas.
Yes, good morning. Good morning. So I am Tiffany, and I serve as the Director of Community Affairs for Regular Fellows. So I'm kind of the liaison between, you know, just connecting some of the vendors and volunteers with, opportunities to join us on some of the ventures with, our back to school drive, our report card events and things like that. So just serving as the liaison so that we can get the vendors and other resources to know who we are and give them the opportunity to, share with the community who they are and some of the sources that they can share with the community that could be beneficial for them. So that's one of my roles on the team.
Fantastic. And what made you want to join this effort?
I'm always helping and always giving to the community. And that's just one thing that, I really enjoy with being with the fellows, is because we all just kind of have the same mindset and journey, and that is to really just help and serve the community. And so, I've been doing it and everyone has been doing it individually. So to come together and know that we all have the same goal was just, one of the biggest achievements with, coming on board with the Regular Fellows Foundation altogether. So.
Fantastic. Thank you so much for sharing. Alex, let's see if we can hear from you now.
Good morning. Can you hear me now?
Yep, we can hear you now. Thank you.
All right. Perfect. Good morning. Thanks again for having us. Alex Smith, President and co-founder of Regular Fellows Foundation. And just simply put, we just like to serve. Like MJ said, our motto is people help people. We look at most of the events that he spoke of as opportunities to connect resource with necessity. We look at those events as bridges. So we try to build a lot of different relationships with a lot of different organizations or companies that's doing different types of work. And we look at those events as we bring you out and we just need to connect you with the community so they can know that these resources are available to them. That's one way we do it. As MJ always also spoke about, is the youth. So we are trying to get more focused on dealing with the youth and building up that next generation and helping them succeed in life. So that way we can try to limit a lot of this stuff that we see happening right now. So in the future, we can have a more positive and better society.
Yeah. How have you changed, let me start with, have you changed your outlook and your approach to what you do as a result of the pandemic? I'll start with MJ.
Yeah, that's a great question. As I stated with the back to school event and report card event, unfortunately, we couldn't have it this year. So the report card event was in March. That's right when it hit. And back to school was in August. So we really struggled, to be honest and transparent, because, we want to make sure we're keeping everyone safe. Because one of our strengths is bringing people together. Our events, we can pull over 1,000, 2,000 people together just by putting something, connecting as Alex stated. So this virtual movement is kind of difficult for Regular Fellows because, our impact is for people to really touch and see each other. And one thing I think that was missed is that there's a lot of nonprofits out here doing great things, and we partner with a lot. I think with Regular Fellows, what separates us is, we offer love. When you're at our events, when we move through our communities, they know love exists. So it is a struggle with this pandemic to get that feeling through these airwaves. But you do it very well, on your end. For us, we're adapting to this. So we do have an event that's coming up, but we're really trying to figure out how to hit the community to make sure everyone's safe as well. So we have some great, exciting things coming up for the end of the year. We have some act of kindness pop-ups that we're going to be doing. And just making sure that we can. Tiffany gave some great suggestions. Some of our meetings on how we can do some virtual kind of collaborations and events for the community. You do find out a lot of people have difficulty getting online and things of that sort. So. I'm being transparent. It is a struggle, but we're definitely looking forward to our mindsets that this thing is not going away. So we're all going to have to adapt and learn how to make it work and continue to serve.
Yeah, I love that. Do you want to add anything to that, Tiffany or Alex?
No, I think MJ pretty much summed it up. It's been a challenge for everyone, but we don't want our mission of serving the community to fall by the wayside because of the pandemic. So we definitely have to kind of get creative in how we, approach some of our upcoming events.
Yeah, I love it. Okay, so since you're talking about being creative and staying in the community and continuing your mission, you actually have an event coming up on Saturday, October 17th, which would be of great interest to a lot of folks in our community. What is this event?
Mm-hmm. So the event is called Call for Action. And as you can tell, we're very humble. We love to be on the ground, in the forefront of kind of being on a stage is not our thing. But we appreciate this platform, number one. But the event next week is a call for action. We're partnering with Rasheed Wallace and Stephen Jackson, and also Senator Art Haywood, who, if I can just pull that out for a minute, Senator Art Haywood has been a huge advocate for Regular Fellows Foundation. Every event that we do, he's hands-on, he's direct with us, he gives as much assistance. So he continues with that movement. So we're excited to be back outside. It is going to be an outside event. It's a free event for the community. It's a resource-driven event that, we're trying to be very specific on what we feel the needs are during this pandemic to make sure we have those companies or those organizations or that education out there for the community, that we're bringing it to them, because a lot of them, one, they either don't know what resources they have, two, they need help and they just don't know where to go. So we're bringing that kind of bridge, as Alex stated, to the community. So it's at Lonnie Young Rec Center. It's going to be outside. It's going to be a day of giving out food, resource tables, music, celebration of love, as we stated. And we may do a march. Rasheed Wallace and Stephen Jackson have been doing a national tour around each city, doing a call for action to represent that, they do care about the community, which is huge. So we're definitely fortunate to partner with them in this. We may do a march. We may walk around the neighborhood, knocking on doors and delivering the food for those who can't make it to the rec. We're not just going to march around the neighborhood just to march, and which is a good thing that I see people are doing out here, but we're going to be knocking on doors. We're going to be serving people. And it's just going to be an exciting day. So, I can't wait for it. We're excited to finally have an event this year that we can start and finish the end of the year. But it's definitely the 17th, next Saturday at 1 o'clock at Lonnie Young Rec Center.
I love it. I love it. And who all should come out?
Well, I'll let Alex and Tiff, if they want to add more to that.
Tell everybody who all should come out and what time they should be there.
Everyone is invited. Everyone is invited, from the youngest person to the oldest person. The only requirement is definitely need to wear a mask. Mask is required to attend, but we definitely look forward to seeing everyone out there. Looking at a very very powerful and great event. So we just looking forward to everybody just coming on out, but definitely must wear a mask.
Yeah. I hope that y'all wouldn't be playing that tomfoolery with the no mask thing. Moving forward, as you look into, I'm not even going to go into that. As you look into the next few months, as it gets colder and outdoor events will begin to shut down because it'll just be too cold for that, what are some of the things that you are planning, that you are considering, ways to serve, events to start up, to stay connected to the community?
Yeah, sure. And just if I can add one layer to what Alex stated, who should come out as well, not only the community, but anybody that wants to be a part of this movement to connect the bridge should come out as well. And, as I stated, we have Senator Art Haywood, we have a few other politicians that are coming out, but we need organizations that are grassroots that we want to join efforts with as well to find how we can continue to connect this movement. So it's not open just to the Germantown section. It's open to anybody who's hearing these airwaves today that want to have some community resources, feel some power of love again outside within the community. They should come out. To answer your question, at the end of the year, as I stated, we have some acts of kindness events that we're going to be doing. Alex And Rodney, who's not here with us, he's another board member as well. I want to give Rodney a shout out. Sorry about that. But he, you know, we have some suggestions. We may do some acts of kindness where we'll just pop up and just serve the community and go to them, whether it be, you know, at certain stores or businesses or any location, that type of thing. And we're going to continue our effort with serving the community during Thanksgiving and Christmas time too, with the homeless shelters. You know, we usually go in the shelter and have a big celebration, but, you know, we may just bring it to the shelter and coordinate that way.
Yeah.
But we're very unique in what we do, Tiffany. We're going to be on the ground for the remaining of the year. And, you know, and our following is huge. I mean, we have at least 40 to 60 volunteers minimum that show up. I mean, and when I say show up, they're ready to work. They're not just there to take photo ops and, you know, just be a part of the event. They're cleaning up, they're setting up, they're engaging with the community. So, you know, that's kind of what I want to add. I don't know if I missed anything, Tiffany or Alex, that, you know, we want to finish the year off with.
No, I think the only other thing that we are looking forward to and possibly having, I'll just share it now, is a potential trunk or treat for the youth. Just because when we look at when we were younger, just the impact of just going around and trick or treating, how that community just felt, and how the love was just shown towards kids. So we just want to have a safe space where kids can just be kids, dress up, be their favorite superheroes, and come out and get shown some love. Just be kids again. So that's definitely one thing we're looking at. We'll have more information once we get that locked in. But outside of that, just a whole lot more positivity, a lot of love being shown to the end of the year as we look forward to next year.
I love it. If anybody who is listening or who is watching our live stream on Facebook, if anybody is interested in volunteering for any of your events, how can they reach out? I'll start with them, Jeff.
Okay, sure. Yeah, so we'll go with we have our website, www.regularfellowsfoundation.org. We're also on Instagram at Regular Fellows Foundation, and they can also reach our office at 267-223-9012. You know, those are kind of the portals to reach out for volunteering or to find out more information. We do have the flyer posted for our event next week. We'll have some more updates on our website about that, along with what Alex stated, you know, with the trunk or treat, and then some of the other future events as well.
Okay, and let me just get that phone number again.
It's 267-223-9012.
Okay, wanted to make sure I had that right. I want to thank you all for continuing to serve the community, for providing these opportunities for folks, and for providing bridges for people. Thank you all so much. The Regular Fellas joining me today on The Source. Thank you for being here, y'all.
Yes,
Thank
you so much. It's definitely a pleasure to connect with, you know, with this event next week. I also want to add Q Connect as well. Kiana is a huge impact with this. So we have a lot of people that are moving, and we're all excited. We're a week away, and you know, we can't wait. But we really appreciate your time and everything that you're doing to spread this message as well.
Absolutely, no problem. You know, gotta spread the good word. That's what we do at WURD. All right.
Yes, absolutely.
Thank you all so much for joining me. Hey, listen, I got to take a break. Don't touch that dial. We're going to talk politics for a second when we come back after this.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
But they've got the experience. I'm still in shock 3 or 4 years later that we're in this position now. Our democracy is at a pivotal point. From the top, we don't trust our government. We see the trouble we're in economically. We've got 170,000 Americans dead, and yet this president will do anything he can to make it seem like things are better than they are.
I did more for the black community than anybody with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln.
It's our responsibility. If we don't lead that effort to make things better, we can't ask other people to do it. There is no good reason not to vote.
Right, we need to have individuals that are in office like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
They are our best shot to take us forward. And that's what makes me incredibly hopeful, but we really do have to work for this thing.
To the thousands who did not vote, we need you to show up for our future and for our country.
You cannot sit on the sidelines. You got to get in the game.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Hey, Mama, you calling me for a change? You and Daddy all right?
We're fine. Can't your mama call and check on her babies and get a little advice?
You know you can. What do you need help with?
Well, despite COVID-19, you know I'm not letting anything stop your father and I from voting this year. But we're here in Pennsylvania. Should we go to our precinct as usual? What's the best way?
You mean I get to be Mama for a minute? All you have to do is go to aarp.org/election 2020.
That's my favorite site, and they have a lot of information about the pandemic.
You only text me the website 3 times, but they have all the reliable, up-to-date voting information for voters 50 plus in every state. Want me to text it to you?
Girl, I know. It's aarp.org/election 2020.
Well, me being your mama didn't last long.
That's 'cause I'll always be your mama.
Yes, ma'am.
Jobs, entrepreneurship opportunities, small business resources, and financial literacy. Livelihood. The new initiative from WURD Radio to connect Philadelphians to resources to help take the next steps in their professional lives. WordWorks.com features career readiness tools, entrepreneurship resources, funding opportunities, and events to expand your livelihood. Visit WURDworks.com right now and take the next step in your professional journey. Livelihood is supported by the Nightland Fest's Local News Transformation Fund, Borealis Philanthropies Racial Equity and Journalism Fund, and the Solutions Journalism Network.
You're listening to The Source
on WURD Radio.
96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
1, 2, 3, 4. I love the way it flows, I love the way it grows. There's something in this sound that takes me far. It's like a special song, can move my mood along. What I cannot say you'll hear through my guitar. She told me at the bass line, and everything will be alright. She told me that the groove is mine, and it will take us through the night. And where I go, can't explain, I'll never know, but it's beautiful. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. I love the way it sings, all the joy that it brings. Remember skating down the road towards the park. I could never say no. You with that summer glow. The music gives me sun when winter starts. She told me at the bass line, and everything will be alright. She told me that the groove is mine, and it will take us through the night. And where I go, can't explain, I'll never know, but it's beautiful. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. It's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody, 'cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody. Cause the waves bring clarity, and it's running through me. You can't take this away from me. Oh, the way I hear the melody. The waves bring clarity, and it's running through me.
I think we're back. Yes. Okay. Welcome back to The Source here on WURD 96.1 FM, 900 AM, and streaming live on WURDradio.com. We are also streaming live on our Facebook page. Love to see you over there. Hello. Welcome to the program. I'm Tiffany Bacon. Thank you so much for joining me. Some new things are happening around here, around WURD. And Tuesday, October 13th, WURD welcomes back beloved host Nick Taliaferro for the new Drive Time show. Evenings on WURD with Nick Taliaferro. You're going to love it, I promise. Tune in every Monday through Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. The best in conversation and contemplation. The show will feature Nick's unique brand of wit, wisdom, and humor. He'll speak with authors, experts, newsmakers, and of course, he will speak with you. You can check him out evenings on WURD. Beginning October 13th. So that is next Tuesday. Now, also keep your dial locked because you don't want to miss Sincerely Sarita at her new time slot, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Sarita's new show, Save Space with Sincerely Sarita. Check that out. It's going to feature insightful, in-depth interviews with the most interesting voices in Philly and beyond. She will bring a spirit of clarity and openness to Save Space, and it's going to be a great dialogue of healing. We want you to spend your evenings with Nick and Sarita beginning October 13th, exclusively here on WURD. Now, you know we will be streaming live on WURDradio.com and, of course, on our Facebook page. So we would love, love, love to have you be a part of those shows, and it's going to be fantastic. So listen, I know people have been talking about this for a minute, but we need to recap a second about the vice presidential debate. I would really love to hear your thoughts. I haven't had a chance to speak with you directly about it. What are your thoughts on the vice presidential debate? When I was filling in on the evening show, we got you ramped up, Miss Denise Clay, you know, my dear friend who is a political guru. She had her ideas of what to expect, and now we saw it. And the memes have been going crazy about all types of things. So I'd love to hear from you, your thoughts on the debate. Feel free to give us a call. 215-634-8065. Joining me right now is the senior advisor to the Biden campaign. Her name is Ashley, and I want to make sure I'm saying your name correctly because I didn't get to double check that before we started talking. So I apologize if I butcher your last name. Etienne?
You got it perfect.
Hallelujah, look at the Lord. Etienne, Ashley Etienne. Right? Listen, I believe in making sure people get people's names are said correctly.
Yes, I agree. I agree. Out of respect, right? Out of respect.
Absolutely. Thank you for taking some time to talk with us. I was just getting into that. Yes, ma'am. I was just getting into that with the listeners about recapping the vice presidential debate. My dear friend, Denise Clay, she is a political guru. We were talking about what to expect. I would definitely like to hear your recap, your thoughts about what we saw the other day.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was a sort of a contrast in visions, right? You got the vice president, Mr. Pence, who is the head of the coronavirus task force for the White House, that continues to perpetuate lies about it, that has led to over 213,000 people losing their life. You know, in my opinion, it's irreprehensible, but it's, to some degree, it's quite criminal. It is unsettling that the President of the United States would lie to the American public. And Pence calls himself evangelical. If you might recall, he was, part of that huge Tea Party evangelical movement. And now we're in a situation where it's an issue of life and death. And he allows and sits by and watches the president mislead the public. And people have lost their family members and their loved ones because of it. 213,000 people, that's more than all the wars combined, the lives we've lost in all the wars combined. And that is in what, 6 to 8 months? And Tiffany, the reality is like, I'm not sure, there is no end in sight. There is no plan to get me out of this house. There is no plan to get us off Zooms. There is no plan to get my kid back in school. And that's what concerns me. So when I talk about the contrast, what you heard from the senator was literally, she looked the American people in their eyes and told them not only the truth, but the plans to transform, to not only bring us back together as a nation, but to bring us together to come up with a vision and a plan to get us out of this mess that the White House has gotten us into. So for me, it was a sort of a story in contrast. One, you had the Pence perpetuating lies and mistruths to the American public, and then you had the senator who was just trying to get a word in, if she could, to make the case to the American people that, listen, we're in a battle for the soul of our nation. And that looks like not only, ensuring that we build back our country better, stronger, that's more inclusive and more equitable, but that we get on a path to ensuring that brothers aren't getting shot in the back 7 times and Black women aren't dying in their houses in the middle of their sleep. I mean, that is what this is all about, what this election is about. All of that is on the ballot on the 3rd. And so I'm glad you have me on the call today to talk about it. And I'd love to get your thoughts and hear what you're hearing, and, and let's have an open exchange about it. What's at stake in this election?
Yeah, there's so much to say, to consider. There are a lot of fears and concerns. First and foremost, well, you're split concern between what's happening with police brutality and police murder, and also what's happening with the overall health of the country because of the coronavirus, and the mixed messages coming from the top of this current administration by tearing off masks after you've only spent a couple of days in the hospital and you supposedly have the coronavirus, and you're exposing yourself to other people who are now getting sick. So what is the message? What stronger message are we going to hear from the Biden-Harris ticket about, like, one singular, how we should handle this, how we should approach this, what everybody should do, instead of, okay, over here you don't have to wear a mask, it's not that important, but here it is?
No, I mean, we've the Vice President Biden and the senator have met with scientists. We've formulated a commission on COVID that has various pods, everything from reopening schools safely to testing to the vaccine. So they are consistently meeting with scientists and experts. And, we feel like our plan is science driven and is science first strategy on how we address the coronavirus. I mean, we can't begin to talk about transforming this nation and moving us past the past 4 years without us first dealing with the coronavirus, and successfully. And that's the focus. So that's the key is, you have to let the science lead. And to your point, this administration has not only ignored the science, ignored the warnings, but then they actually, again, perpetuated lies, which made the situation worse than it currently is. Let me just back up a second and talk about leadership, if you don't mind. Mm-hmm. So the vice president is not the vice president, meaning Biden is not the vice president for no reason. He was a part of one of the most successful administrations in our nation's history. If you recall, and I worked in the White House, so I know this firsthand, when we took over the administration, we were in the Great Recession, if you recall, in 2008. And Obama and Biden transformed the economy, handed over 7 years of record growth to the Trump administration. And now we're in a situation where 30 million people are unemployed. Black male unemployment has doubled with no answer to any of it. Literally no answer, no plan on any of it. And that's concerning to us. So get back to the proven leadership. So we handed over record growth to the Trump administration. Another area where the Vice President Biden has led is on the Ebola crises. Remember, that was a global pandemic as well. And we only experienced 4 deaths during the Ebola crises. So we've gotten, and Vice President Biden has gotten the 3 a.m. call, as we like to talk about in politics, when you're tested, right? And you get the call and how are you going to respond? And he's proven that he has responded in a way that first considers the health and the safety of the American people, not himself, right? And so, and again, only 4 people lost their lives in that particular situation. So the reality is that, you know, what we need right now is that steady, proven leadership to get us back on track, to refocus our vision on what's in the best interest of the whole of the nation, not just the president of the United States. I mean, to your point, Tiffany, if the president doesn't even first consider the health and the safety of his own family and the people around him, why would we think he would consider ours? So that's what this boils down to. It's like, what kind of a nation do we want to live in? What kind of leadership do we want? Do we want proven, steady leadership that has been tested and proven that we can do these big things and these hard things and that we're going to put the American people first? Or do you want more of the same? And I can just tell you, the very thought of having 4 more years of Donald Trump is terrifying.
Mm-hmm. For many, I'm sure, yes, on that for sure. We heard that the president declined to have a second debate because of social distancing, because of having it virtual. He wants no parts of that. We would like to hear from Joe Biden on the issues. People would like to have the opportunity to hear him talk more about it. What are the plans for October 15th since Donald Trump has decided, nah, I'm good?
So we're we think fundamentally that that leaders owe the American people and constituents and voters answers. So VP Biden is not going to shrink. So we're going to hold a town hall with ABC News on the 15th, and we're going to take questions from the American people. It's going to be a town hall style. So we're open. We want to hear concerns, and we want to really, as I'm doing now, speak to those concerns and tell the American people what we're going to do to make their lives better. So that's how we're going to move forward. I mean, the reality is the president is sick, from this virus. And anything we do, we believe paramount should be the health and safety of everybody around him. So until he can prove that he's no longer sick, we stand ready, willing to debate, but in the absence of him willing to debate us, we're going to go ahead and hold a town hall and take questions from the American people.
I love that. And there are people who have a lot of questions about what the plans will be. What is the main focus leading up to Election Day?
It's going to be speaking to the big crises that we're faced with right now. There's a healthcare crisis with the COVID-19 virus spreading rampantly. There is a economic crisis, and there is a crisis of morality stemming from the White House. So those are the 3 big buckets we're going to focus on. How do we get past the coronavirus? How do we open up safely? How do we get back to some semblance of normalcy, right? How do we give the American people accurate information so that they're protecting themselves and other people around them? The second is, how do we rebuild this country? 40% of small Black businesses are going under because of the COVID. As I mentioned earlier, Black male unemployment has more than doubled. There's still too many barriers to Black women to starting their own businesses. How do we address that in a way that, again, builds the country back and the economy back better and in a more equitable fashion? And then the third to that is, we feel like we're in a fight for the soul of America, which we are. And we have a president who is perpetuating race baiting and perpetually, I should say, fraying the binds that tie us together as Americans, those basic fundamental beliefs that we all share. He is fraying all of those, and all of those are in threat. So that's what we're going to speak to. So how do we get past the COVID? How do we rebuild this economy? And then how do we unite the country to do all of those things and then to come back stronger from 4 years of Donald Trump?
It's a hard road.
It's a hard one. But I will just say, Tiffany, this is the key. Can I just say this before we leave? Regrettably, before I leave you, a couple things I want your listeners to know. People need to go to iwillvote.com to learn how and when to vote. They're making it hard to vote all across Pennsylvania. They got these new rules that make it really complicated. So we want people to go to iwillvote.com to learn how they can vote, when they can vote, and where they can actually vote. I would also say that we can't wait until November 3rd. We cannot procrastinate. People need to go out. Pennsylvania is going to start voting early next week. We need people to start voting ASAP. Take your friends, to quote my old boss, President Obama, take Pookie and them from the couch. Take everybody you got, because it has to be clear and decisive on the 3rd. We cannot wait until the 3rd. The president has already made clear in all of these debates that he's going to challenge the legitimacy of the election. And we've got to own our power and to effectuate it in a way that'll make change and come the 3rd. So I just wanted to let your listeners know, iwillvote.com, learn how to vote, and listen, don't wait until the 3rd.
Don't wait until the 3rd. iwillvote.com. That is where you go to get all the information. I thank you so much.
Thank you, Tiffany, for having me.
No problem. Thank you for addressing these concerns and for giving us some more information to consider as we approach the election. Thank you again.
Thank you. Talk to you soon. Okay, be well.
Take care. You as
all
well.
Right. Bye-bye.
All right now. Don't touch that dial. We will be right back with more conversation after this.
Keystone First VIP Choice HMO SNP dual eligible special needs plan has a 4 out of 5 star rating and is one of the highest rated Medicare plans in the region. Keystone First VIP Choice and you are better together. If you live in Philadelphia, Bucks, Chester, Montgomery, or Delaware County and you have both Medicare and Medicaid, choose the Medicare plan that is working to help you get better care. Enjoy extra benefits at no cost to you with Keystone First VIP Choice. You get benefits like dental, vision, and transportation to and from your medical appointments. They also cover a fitness membership to a gym of your choice. $150 toward over-the-counter pharmacy items. There's no copay for doctor's visits. They offer a large provider network, a great prescription plan, dental coverage, and even eyeglasses. Plus, you don't have to wait for open enrollment. You can change your coverage every quarter. Keystone First VIP Choice. The name you trust, the service you deserve. Call Keystone First VIP Choice today at 1-877-686-1760 or visit KeystoneFirstVIPChoice.com.
If you're thinking of voting by mail this election, remember that it's safe, it's secure, and it counts. But there are a few things to keep in mind. While the application deadline is October 27th, you should apply now and send your ballot back as early as possible, before November 3rd. When it comes to sending it back, you can drop it in the mail, use a designated drop box, or return it to a satellite election office. To find one or for more information, visit PhiladelphiaVotes.com.
Smith Play John is a new kids TV show produced by Smith Memorial Playground. Tune in Wednesdays at 3 p.m. on Comcast, Verizon, or PhillyCam.org for at-home play breaks, music time, story time, and to share your John. Details at smithplayground.org.
Good afternoon. My name is Samuel Staton, Jr. I'm a Laborers International Union Vice President. I'm also the business manager of Laborers Local 332. I'm here to tell you why it's important for you to vote. Why? Because your vote puts protection on your prevailing wages. Why? Because your vote put protection on your health and welfare. Why? Because your vote put protection on your pension. Why? Because your vote put protection on your right to join a union and organize. Remember this, you are free to choose, but you are not free from your consequences of your choice. Please vote so that the great work of this great international union can continue to grow for generations to come. Thank you.
Don't forget to tune into Labor's Live every Friday from 4 to 5 p.m. on WURD, WURD.
Looking for employment? JD's Auto Body and Painting is hiring. They have 2 positions if you have 5 years experience in auto body and framework. Also seeking painter with 5 years experience. And if you have experience as an A or B assembler, JD's Auto Body can be the place for you. Please call JD's Auto Body at 215-848-5949 or email JD's Auto Body and Painting at Comcast.net.
I ain't no better than you. And you ain't no better than me. But we all have something in common. We all are species, seeds of God's creation.
Tune in to Messages in the Music every Friday night with Joey T, midnight to 6 a.m. right here on WURD.
WURD TV.
You're listening to The
streaming
Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
It's The Source on WURD, 96.1 FM, 900 AM, and WURDradio.com. That is where we're streaming live. Tiffany Bacon here with you. Thank you so much. Miss Kayla J., who was that we were just listening to?
That was her.
Her. I like her. She's awesome. Yeah, she's got some really good music. So thank you for always finding somebody great to play. I appreciate you for that always. We have my special entertainment guru friend. I always say, like, my friends who are gurus in things, that know things, I just call them gurus in something. Miss Kay Bellamy is joining us for the next hour. Hey, Miss Kay, how are you, diva?
I am awesome, honey. How you doing?
You know what? I'm breathing on schedule.
Girl, I love it. When I tell you I love it, I love every time I hear it. And as long as I've known you, every time I hear you say you breathing on schedule, it makes me feel better about my life.
Hey,
it's the truth.
Listen, and you know what? Sometimes people take me when I say that, because that is definitely a TIFF phrase. That's a homegrown phrase.
Yes, it is.
Why I started saying that?
Yes,
I
it is.
started saying that, but it's not a minimalistic comment. It really is. I gotta be good because I got my breath.
That's right.
I'm
and
good.
Especially today
Man.
to say I'm breathing on schedule.
Ma'am.
Yeah, that's a bonus. That's a blessing.
It's a bonus and a blessing for sure. But we're recapping just some of people's thoughts about the vice presidential debate. And I know some folks are kind of talked out, but listen, the comments and the effect has lasted for a couple of days. So I wanted to just get your thoughts before we move on into some other topics as it relates to entertainment and the world, because there's a couple of things that we could really dive into as it relates to entertainment people. But what were your thoughts on the debate? How did you respond?
So first and foremost, it was calmer. It was more reasonable. But I think, to me, people weren't, I didn't feel like people were really paying attention because they were just still reeling from the presidential debate. Mm-hmm. And so I don't think that, we gave as much into this one. But what I thought is that, one, when you listen to some of the comments from the Republican Party, you have to ask yourself, I know I do, are there literally a room full of people who are sitting around the table saying, I don't want humans to live, to be educated, to have health care, to have money, to be financially stable? They just, when I hear that, I think to myself, is there actually people, Tiffany, sitting somewhere saying, I don't want them to have it? And I'm not talking about just blacks. I can talk about being black forever, but just humanity, just humanity in itself. When do people get to the point where they say, I care about people, period? I just care about people. And so that has been, to me, the dividing line between the red and the blue, is that, we've grown up and we've been educated and told and saw and heard that the red cares for the rich, the blue cares for the poor. When will we collectively just care for each other? I thought Kamala was very poised in her responses, in her answers. I thought there were some things that she could have done better with responding to. But at the end of the day, we need a change. We need a change. And I hate for her to come in as the first Black woman, vice presidential candidate, with the stigma that says, we'll take anybody. We'll take anybody at this point. You know what I mean? We needed that moment to be substantial, like a Michelle Obama kind of substantial, and I'm not taking anything away from Kamala. I think that she is strong in a lot of areas that we need a Black woman, or we need a woman to be strong in. But I'm telling you, this is so challenging, Tiffany. And I thought that Pence was he was like a robot. He was like here are the answers they told me to say. And I did not feel he believed most of it.
Well, the biggest meme about that, right, has been the fly on the head.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And we'll see what Saturday Night Live does with that.
They're going to run with it. They're going to run with it.
We will see what happens with that. We're going to talk entertainment. We're going to talk maybe a little bit of politics. We're definitely going to talk about entertainment and health and a whole lot of other great things.
Ooh,
yeah, honey. Entertainment and health. If you're of a certain age listening to this program, there's a young lady that you may remember who is currently battling stage 3 breast cancer. She announced it just a few weeks ago. And we're going to talk about some of the things she said about why she waited so late to get checked out. But I have to take a break. We'll come back, talk about that and a whole lot more when The Source continues after this.
Need a new mattress? Stop by to see Julian, the mattress man, located at 7421 Stenton Avenue. You deal directly with the owner, Julian, to ensure the best prices on name brand mattresses like Sealy, Posturepedic. Call 215-424-5550. That's 215-424-5550.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
But they've got the experience. I'm still in shock 3 or 4 years later that we're in this position now. Our democracy is at a pivotal point.
From the top, we don't trust our government. We see the trouble we're in economically. We've got 170,000 Americans dead, and yet this president will do anything he can to make it seem like things are better than they are.
I did more for the black community than anybody with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln.
It's our responsibility. If we don't lead that effort to make things better, we can't ask other people to do it. There is no good reason not to vote.
Right, we need to have individuals that are in office like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
They are our best shot to take us forward.
And that's what makes me incredibly hopeful, but we really do have to work for this thing.
To the thousands who did not vote, we need you to show up for our future and for our country.
You cannot sit on the sidelines. You got to get in the game.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Tune in this Saturday at 10 a.m. for the Educational Pulse with the School District of Philadelphia with host Dr. William Haidt.
This is not a fad for us. We will not resume our regular programming when things die down. We're not black to help our bottom line or because it's politically correct. We're not joining a fight. This has been our fight, our message, our people. Black lives have always mattered here. We are undeniably, indefatigably, unapologetically, permanently Black Talk Media. WURD. Home of the Happy Hour. With Sincerely Sarita. This is WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD Philadelphia. Streaming live at WURDradio.com and on the WURD Radio app.
Sorry, I missed your call. I'm just busy right now. I don't want to see you.
You make my heart go boom. Oh baby, it's the look in your eyes that makes you the prize. I wish we were together right now. It's true. You make my body feel loose. Oh baby, it's the way that you lay, the way that you play. I'm praying for forever as well as now. I don't want to hide, I don't want to hide. I don't want to shy from you. No, I don't want to lie, I don't want to lie and say that I don't want you. So if you could lay your cards right down, I am waiting on the table. If you could show me love somehow, we don't need to have a label. You know that I will love you down. I will be every kind of faithful. If you could show me all the way around, I will be very, very grateful. Very, very grateful. You make my worries fly away. I'm thinking it's the way that we rotate that makes me feel okay, huh? So you should come around today. Let me show you so much safe. Oh baby, you could stop trying to locate, cause we found a soulmate in each other, and now we're bound. I don't want to hide, I don't want to hide. I don't want to shy from.
Okay.
And welcome back to The Source here on WURD. I'm Tiffany Bacon. Thank you so much for checking us out today. It's a beautiful, beautiful Friday. I encourage you, if you can, if you want to step outside for a moment and just soak in the blue skies, the sunshine, the changing colors of the leaves on the trees. It is fall. I don't know if it's your favorite season. It's definitely mine. We have a lot of stress and strife going on right now. So whenever we can appreciate the beauty of nature, let's do that. So today is a good day to go on outside and get some of that. I'm Tiffany Bacon. We are WURD 96.1 FM, 900 AM, and streaming live on WURDradio.com. I'd love to hear from you. Haven't had a chance to talk to you yet this morning, and here we are in the afternoon. Feel free to give us a call. 215-634-8065. My special guest in this hour, Miss Kay Bellamy. She is my sister friend in all things entertainment. We talk about that thing. We talk about entertainment. We talk about life. And we're going to talk about health because, as I mentioned right before the 12 o'clock hour, if you're of a certain age and you watched BET back in the day, there was a young lady by the name of Ananda Lewis who hosted her own show. And for a period of time, she hosted Teen Summit. Beautiful sister, all the fellas and everybody just was falling all over her, but
Yes.
she was a really good she is a really good broadcaster. And just about a week and a half ago, she announced through Essence magazine that she is currently battling stage 3 breast cancer. She talked exclusively about feeling sorry that she waited so long to get screening. She did not get her mammogram when it was recommended, and now she really regrets that. So she's speaking out and encouraging people to get screened for breast cancer. October is Breast Cancer Awareness Month, and you know, I send my heart out to her, but she's clearly, you know, battling. She's clearly fighting it, and she is not by herself. There are so many people who are battling breast cancer, so many who have lost the battle to breast cancer. And we just want to talk about why it is important and why sometimes it takes somebody that we admire, that we didn't know was going through certain things, to encourage us to go ahead and get our screenings and our checkups. So Miss K, I wanted to know, did you hear that yet? And if you had, you know, what were your first thoughts when you heard about her situation?
I did hear that. And, you know, my first thoughts, it was to her, because we'll start to beat ourselves up, because her first thing is, I wish I had gotten, you know, a mammogram earlier. Mm-hmm. And that will be her platform. Yeah. Early detection will become her platform. Mm-hmm. But what I don't want women to do is beat themselves up, because that's just added stress. Mm-hmm. on her, because, you know, she thought she should have done something that she didn't do. Mm-hmm. And the problem is that we follow science, and we follow medical advice from experts. And they tell us, don't get this test until this age, or don't get this test until that age, or don't do this until that age. And in our minds, we wait for that. We don't even pay attention to signs. We aren't looking for it prior to that. We aren't thinking about it prior to that. We aren't doing any of that. Yeah. Because the experts say we don't have to. But now, as they're getting more and more cases and saying, yeah, you do. Mm-hmm. And almost, I feel like, Tiffany, almost, you know, it's going to be the moment you have breasts. You're going to need to get them checked. Yeah. And I feel bad for her, because she's going to put that pressure on herself on top of going through this whole process. Mm-hmm. And it's hard, especially when you are a public figure. Mm-hmm. People know you. But the great thing is that she gets the opportunity to use that platform to educate other women, and not just other women, because I think I shared this on one of the other shows of yours I was on. Mm-hmm. Men too. It's becoming more and more prevalent in men. Yeah. Breast cancer, and that conversation isn't even being had yet. Right. And so that's something we have to talk about. And my heart goes out to her, because that's a struggle to find out and then be that far in stage 3. She's dealing with a whole lot emotionally, physically. And so I just pray that she doesn't put that extra guilt on herself into saying, I should have done something, or I wish I had done something before this. Yeah.
You know, it's hearing her story, and then immediately I started thinking about Chadwick Boseman. We are all still, you know, surprised about his passing. No one knew that he had cancer, but you said something really, you know, important, that, you know, she's going to use her platform now to speak out about it, speak about screenings. One thing I hear people say a lot is I don't need to hear from an entertainer or an actor or an artist or anything. Tell me about blase, blase, blah. As if an artist, a broadcaster, a sports figure shouldn't use their platform, regardless of what their platform is. What are your thoughts about that, about artists really using their platform, especially if they're using it for something that they're not necessarily known for? For example, if you happen to check out Saturday Night Live last weekend, you'll hear me reference it a lot because honestly, I am a woman of a certain age. I grew up with SNL. I was watching SNL when I should have been up late watching SNL. And it was a young girl dream of mine to write for that show. So I still watch it. And last week was their season opener, first time they've been live since the pandemic hit. And Megan Thee Stallion was the special performance guest, the artist. And she made some statements about the Breonna Taylor case. She made a lot of statements about respecting women. And there were some folks that came down on her because they're like, well, how are you going to say all that when you have this WAP song? As if she can't have this song and speak out about a social justice topic, as if she shouldn't. What are your thoughts on that?
So I have a couple thoughts. One is that we believe that entertainers or people who are wealthy or public figures aren't normal people. We think that there's some supernatural kind of people that don't have the same issues that we have because they're in the limelight or they may be making a certain amount of money and they can't relate to. I will say this, even if I make $1 million and, you know, my friend makes 50,000, if my mother passes away, I'm going to feel the same way that you feel if your mother passes away. I'm going to hurt the same way. If you get breast cancer and I get breast cancer, I'm going to feel the same way. And so we don't make that connection though. We think that they're supernatural, and when something happens to them, it's not the same as if it happens to us or if it happens to, you know, what we call regular people, normal people. But it's not true. It's not true. People, I don't care who you are, you have opinions, you have situations, circumstances, trials, tribulations, people going through the same stuff. The problem is, now the difference is, if I go through it, it can relatively stay private. It can stay private. But if Beyonce goes through it, it can't stay private. The world has to know about it. And so we can't judge people who are in the limelight and say you shouldn't have an opinion because you don't know. They do. They do. And they have a right to say it just as we do. They have a right to address it. They have a right to feel it. They have a right to do it. Their economic status does not have anything to do with how they see the world and how they feel about situations that happen. Yeah, that's what I have to say about that. And we can't judge them on that.
A lot of people do. You know, you've heard various people, other broadcasters even, say things about LeBron James, like just stick to basketball, just stick to this. So if you're an entertainer, you're supposed to be a one-trick pony and all you do is just entertain folks, but you're not supposed to speak on political issues or social issues or anything else. And
how crazy is that?
Put people in boxes if they do step out and, you know, host a virtual conversation. Who was it? I think it was Tiffany Haddish a few weeks ago had a conversation on her platform with Dr. Fauci. She's like, what is the real? What should I be doing? Right. Should I wear a mask or should I not wear a mask? Right. How protective is the mask? So here she is, a comedian. She's like, I want to speak to him and I'll put it on my platform and share this information with the people.
Right.
Yeah.
Because you know what, Tiffany Haddish is going to ask the questions a different way. She's going to ask the questions differently than Savannah Guthrie on the Today Show or Robin. She's going to ask the questions differently. She's going to ask it the way I would ask it or you would. And like, listen, what exactly should we be doing? She said it. Should we put them on or should we not put them on? Like, give me the lowdown.
Mm-hmm.
And we get different information and we receive it differently. So when you have celebrities, we are supposed to challenge them to use their platforms when we need it, rightfully so, because the audience is bigger. And if I had a following of 100 million people, who wouldn't use that platform, Tiffany? Who would not use that platform to say, because especially now, why would you not use it to get people out to vote? Why would you, that is the prime example of why you have to make sure that celebrities and people of status feel comfortable with using their platforms, not make them feel bad, because we need those eyes, those ears, we need them. And so the better we make them feel, or the more comfortable we make them feel about using those platforms, we should.
So with that said, on the flip side of the discussion, do you think folks should be required to? Do you think, okay, you have this fame, you have this attention, use it for something other than just attention for you?
Well, I would say, I wouldn't go ahead and say use your fame, because use your audience. That's what we need. We need those people who are listening to you. We need you to give them this message. So I think that everybody has a right to be selective, but if I gave you the hard answer, I would say absolutely. They should. They should use it. Especially in the Black community, they should. Because guess what? We are supporting and we are buying tickets and we are buying, music, and we are buying. Yes, you should use your platform, and you should want to. And I'll give you this much room. You can be selective in the sense of, if it's something you don't believe in, then okay, fine. If it goes against your religion or it goes against your personal views, fine. But there are things that I believe every celebrity, like voting, like police brutality, there are multiple things that everyone across the board that deals with humanity, period, should be voicing their opinion and talking to their audience about.
I love it. We're talking entertainment topics. We're lightening it up just a smidge in the lunchtime hour. If you are grabbing your lunch, if you're just taking a break, if you've decided to take your electronic device that you use to hear this program or watch this program, if you decided to take it outside, amen. We are going to continue with these topics. We'd love to hear from you. You can reach out at 215-634-8065. I want to drop a little reminder in your ear. Please be sure to join us on Monday, October 12th, for a very special day-long WURD Environmental Justice Summit. It's in recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day. We will explore topics at the intersection of Black and Indigenous rights, income, and the environment. This is a multimedia virtual event that will feature Majora Carter, Cheryl Barber, Marie Sampson from the Source Reporting Collaborative, the Oro family, activists, artists, and other thought leaders. Also, do not miss out on the opportunity to join or renew your onWURD membership. You can do that today. And if you do, you'll receive a free copy of this month's Black Words Book Club selection, A Terrible Thing to Waste, Environmental Racism and Its Assault on the American Mind by Harriet A. Washington. Make sure you join or renew at WURD.com/4WURD. Don't touch that dial. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more conversation after this.
I'm Joe Biden, candidate for president, and I approve this message.
But they've got the experience.
I'm still in shock 3 or 4 years later that we're in this position now. Our democracy is at a pivotal point.
From the top, we don't trust our government. We see the trouble we're in economically. We've got 170,000 Americans dead, and yet this president will do anything he can to make it seem like things are better than they are.
I did more for the black community than anybody with the possible exception of Abraham Lincoln.
It's our responsibility. If we don't lead that effort to make things better, we can't ask other people to do it. There is no good reason not to vote.
Right, we need to have individuals that are in office like Joe Biden and Kamala Harris.
They are our best shot to take us forward.
And that's what makes me incredibly hopeful, but we really do have to work for this thing.
To the thousands who did not vote, we need you to show up for our future and for our country.
You cannot sit on the sidelines. You got to get in the game.
Paid for by Biden for president.
Dietz & Watson has been making premium meats and artisan cheeses for over 80 years. And when it comes to stacking sandwiches and party platters, they've got something for everyone in the family, like maple honey turkey breast, American cheese, buffalo chicken, and more. So get to your local deli and taste 4 generations of family recipes. With Dietz & Watson on the table, you'll have everyone coming back for seconds and thirds. Dietz & Watson, it's a family thing since 1939.
The WURD Environmental Justice Summit, Indigenous Peoples Day, Monday, October 12th from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. In recognition of Indigenous Peoples Day, WURD and WURD Radio will host an Environmental Justice Summit to explore topics at the intersection of Black and Indigenous rights, income, and the environment. This day-long multimedia, virtual, and on-air event will bring together artists, thought leaders, and environmental justice advocates for groundbreaking conversations about climate change, land reclamation, water quality, and how it all converges in the Philadelphia region and beyond. It's the WURD Environmental Justice Summit, Indigenous Peoples Day, Monday, October 12th from 10 a.m. till 7 p.m. exclusively on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app, or watch live on WURD TV via Facebook. Presented in partnership with Bartram's Garden and From the Source Reporting Collaborative. The WURD Environmental Justice Summit is sponsored by PICO and the Alliance for Watershed Education and supported by the Lenfest Institute and the William Penn Foundation.
2020 is the year of voter options. We have many different ways to exercise one of the most important activities in our lifetime. Some of us might be voting by mail, but the rest of us can still vote safely while masked up and social distancing in person at your local polling locations. If you're in Philadelphia, learn more about where your polling location might be at either votespa.com or philadelphiavotes.com. For more information on how to vote in Pennsylvania, visit states.aarp.org/Pennsylvania. Vote early.
You're listening to The Source on WURD Radio, 96.1 FM and 900 AM WURD.
Hello, yeah. Mama said we in the church, you best believe this ain't no hotel. Rocking your halo like a snapback cause you hang with ghetto angels. She told me they won't catch you when you fall. You know this thing gon' end well. Girl, somebody shot the sheriff. If it's you, I ain't gon' pay bail. She says, good morning, wake up, wake. Good morning, wake up, wake. Good morning, wake up, wake. Wake up, wake. Wake up and get yourself to church. Church don't take no holidays. He said I'll dry my anger in the storm until your tears leave away. Don't want these streets looking for beat, cause there's another with a cold play. She says
edition, this Friday edition of The Source. I am your host, Tiffany Bacon, here on WURD 96.1 FM, 900 AM, streaming live on WURDradio.com. We are also streaming live on Facebook. Hello to all the Facebook viewers. In this segment here with my dear friend Kay Bellamy, as we talk about entertainment, our lifestyles have changed drastically because of the pandemic. Some things may never return. We may be witnessing a slow death of movie theaters. It was announced recently that Regal Cinema, the second largest theater chain in the United States, they have 536 theaters, 7,076 screens. They have officially shut all of their doors in the US for the second time during this pandemic, and there is no real timeline for reopening. They may close forever. Many people, 45,000 people may have lost their jobs as a result of this. So I don't know about you, but going to the movies has always been something I've loved since I was a child. Now, I know we have all types of streaming services. You can see any film in the comfort of your home, but there's just something joyous about leaving your home and having a communal experience on a screen that's probably larger than your home, with a sound system that's probably better than the one that you have in your home. How does that sit with you, knowing that this is a possibility? It's not a definite. Anything could happen. 2020 has already proven to us that anything can happen. It could bounce back in a year or two. But how does that sit with you when you hear something like that?
I'm sad because one of my favorite things to do is go to the movie theater by myself. Like, I will go, it's the only time I eat hot dogs. The only time I eat hot dogs is in the movie
not when
theater.
you go down the shore, not when you at a carnival.
Only in the movie theater.
Really?
I will get a hot dog, I will get popcorn, I will get a corner seat. And I will always have a jacket or a sweater or something. Listen, it is my favorite. I don't want anybody there. And I've done enough movies with people. I still do that. But my favorite is to just go by myself, get that corner seat with my hot dog and my popcorn, and watch a movie. It is so freaking surreal. It's just like, I can totally focus on the movie, watch it, and know every detail of it. So that part of it saddens me. The flip side of that, and what else saddens me, is so many people losing jobs. So many people losing jobs as a result of that. The flip side is things like drive-in movies and movies in the park are coming back.
Yeah.
So that is the good part. That's the great part. So, and that's the fun part, because listen, when I see these big screens going up in parking lots, and I'm like, oh my God, it's a drive-in.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That is really awesome. So
drive-ins are full of nostalgia. And I love that.
Yes. Movies in the park, the same way. You put the blanket out, you watch the movie, all of that. It's still like, all of that stuff is nostalgic. So I love it. Yeah. I absolutely love it. But
and they are popping up. They're popping up all over the place. In Philly right now, if you don't know, there are a few pop-up drive-in theaters. There's one at the Mann Music Center in West Philly. They are showing films until the end of October, as a matter of fact. I'll find out the website to go to. Tickets are free, but you're not guaranteed to get in. It's the type of situation where you get your ticket on the Eventbrite page, which is free. Right. And you just need to go there early, because once all the spaces in the parking lot are filled, that's it. You know, that's it. Nobody else is coming in. But it's socially distanced. It's the nostalgia of drive-ins. There's a whole generation of people that have never been to a drive-in.
I know. How exciting is that? Oh my God. How excited to experience a drive-in movie for the first time.
Right.
And so for that, I'm just like, yay, because we can still save the fact of seeing movies on the big screen. You know what I mean? Now, if we had no other alternatives, I would be heartbroken.
Yeah.
But I believe the movie theater will come back at some point. But I think in all of these situations, because as I shared to you before, the struggle too is in the office buildings. People who've been working in offices forever, will we ever go back to that?
Yeah.
And it really depends on people's state of mind, how safe they feel sitting next to a person again. Like, will we ever feel safe enough to sit next to a person again? Because even if movie theaters have open up, half capacity, will you still be able to sustain how many theaters?
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Will you still be able to sustain that? Airlines are the same way. When will we ever be comfortable sitting directly next to a person on an airplane? You know how close that is.
Child, too close.
Right.
Too close when there was no pandemic.
Exactly. So that to me, because the movies is one of my favorite things, like I said, to do, that is heartbreaking.
Yeah. I want to hear from you, the listening, viewing audience. How are you adapting to the change in how you receive and consume your entertainment? Would you be sad if there were no more movie theaters? Have you participated in any of the pop-up drive-in theaters? How do you feel about that? I know, like Ms. K and I, we're excited about that. But everybody doesn't like a drive-in. I don't get it, but everybody doesn't like a drive-in. I love the fact that they're around, but not at the cost of other movie theaters, indoor movie theaters, at their demise. So give us a call. What are your thoughts? 215-634-8065. That's how you can reach us. Or you can post your comments on the Facebook live stream and I will read them and we'll share. It's so interesting how creative people are becoming, not just drive-in movies, but there are drive-in concerts that have popped up around the country. Yeah. I thought the minute I heard someone say that, I think it was back in April or May, I heard someone mention that kind of in passing. And I was like, that's a brilliant idea.
Yes.
Why not?
Yes.
Why not? Open field, put up a stage, have people just drive in on the field, have the same type of, regulations, you drive in this way, you drive out this way, you don't block people in so people aren't like, their cars aren't blocked in, whatnot, and just sit there and enjoy a concert from the comfort of your own vehicle. And here's the thing, if you don't have a vehicle, as long as you have a friend with a vehicle,
that's right.
Just get on in
and
go to the show. You're paying one admission per car instead of like everybody's buying individual tickets. You're buying one admission per vehicle and y'all going in and have a good old time.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly. Seriously. I agree with that.
Yeah.
And I think that, it'll be a nice experience for young people to do, as long as it doesn't get crazy, and people need to understand we came from a different generation. That gathering was all about connecting with people and hanging out with folks and having a good time and laughing and sharing. But outside of that, as long as people keep it that, it's a beautiful thing. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
Concerts, movies, all of that. We can do, there's so much we can do outdoors.
Mm-hmm.
As long as the weather permits it, it's an awesome thing.
Yeah. Yeah. Let's hear a comment from Shayna, who posted on the Facebook live feed. She says, love drive-ins when I was younger. Glad to see them coming back. I'm actually enjoying watching movies at home, but I will miss going to a movie theater from time to time. Yeah, I feel you, Shayna. So, watching movies at home, that is great too, because like, for real, there's times where you just like, I don't feel like getting dressed.
I know.
I don't feel like leaving my house. I got a good parking spot right in front of the door. I don't want to lose that spot. So if that means I can still have a good time and enjoy this and not lose my parking spot, awesome.
what you're saying and not lose my parking spot.
Because if you live in Philly, you know the struggle is real for parking in a lot of places.
Yes.
And
Absolutely.
on a weekend,
yes.
Please, if you get a good parking spot on a Friday night, you're not going out no more. You're not going out no more.
Listen, I can tell you this. I live in King of Prussia, and I pay for and I shared this with somebody just yesterday, because you have the option in my development to pay for a space because and listen, it's worth every dime.
Yep.
Worth every single dime, because you know what? I pull into that space every day, every night, any time of day, any time of night. I don't have to worry about it. Yep. So that to me is worth it by itself.
Yes. And the struggle is real in the summer, for real.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And it was funny because one of my neighbors, she said to me, she came home and she just drove around and around and around and could not find a space to park.
Yep.
And that's why I said to her, it was worth it, because I know that feeling. I've been there.
Yeah.
And it's worth it. But I think having these things outdoor, more and more things outdoors, and being able to breathe, I think we need to get more creative with the outdoor space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Working and entertaining and doing things in the outdoor environment. Yeah. Because that's where we're headed, and people feel safer because there's more room to spread out and social distance.
Absolutely.
So I think we need to get more creative across the board of using the outdoors.
Absolutely. Want to take a few calls? You can reach out to us at 215-634-8065. Let's go to line 1 and speak with Diane. Diane, good afternoon. You're live on air.
Hi, Tiffany. I love your personality. Oh, you got the greatest personality. You make me feel good when I feel bad.
Oh, thank you.
Yes.
Thank you.
And you had the best guest on, too. Best guest. Very, very good programming. Very good program. What I want to say, I want to speak on celebrities speaking out. I believe celebrities have a right to speak out about their people, you know, especially, you know, Miss Taylor, yes. And, you know, we have a right to speak out. I mean, celebrities have a right to speak out. It seems like they want us to stay in our place. You know, don't say nothing. We can do anything to your people that we want to. And that's a problem. That's a big, big problem. And I look at LeBron James. He speaks out. They hate, most of them hate him because he speaks up for his people. And everybody else speak up for their people. Why can't our people speak up for their people? For their people. It's not right. And I look at Bill Cosby. You know, he went against us in some cases, and he was loved by them. He was loved by them. But look at him now. Look how he in jail, and they act like they don't like him at all. You know what I'm saying? You know, I don't think he should be in jail, but they just threw him under the curb, the white people, you know? Yes, and sometimes people think that they have a lot of money, they're their friend, but they are not their friend. They only your friend because you have a lot of money, and that's it. But once you do something wrong, they get rid of you just like that. And guess who you had to come back? To the black community, the people that you turned your back on. So people have to be careful. So those people that speak out, celebrities speak out, I admire them.
Yeah.
I admire them.
Yeah. And you know, it's unfortunate that sometimes people want to keep you in a box. I think it was LeBron James. He did a whole documentary in response to someone telling him to just go ahead and keep playing ball, like just focus on the ball. I saw it on, I think it was Showtime. I'll find out the name of it, but yeah, he's like, yeah, I'm not. So deal with it. I'm not going to be quiet and just focus on basketball. I have things to say and I have the right to say them. Ms. Diane, thank you so much for your comment, and thank you for checking us out this afternoon. I appreciate you. All right, bye-bye. Let's go to Woody calling in on line 2. Hey, Woody, you're live on air.
Hey, young lady, how are you?
I am breathing on schedule. How you doing?
No, I was just listening to you guys talking about the entertainers, but you have to remember all the entertainers of the past who they had to stand on the shoulders. LeBron James wouldn't have been able to speak out if these people hadn't already spoke out. You see, Bill Cosby was one of those guys, you know, coming up around civil rights times, and you know, you had Dr. King, you had Harry Belafonte, Sidney Poitier. You know, these are so many activists that were out there, and they did this and they sacrificed so that the younger people would be able to do what they do today. Now, what I really would like to do is to be able to see more people, you know, appreciate our history. And by studying our history, that'll make you more appreciative of why and how the younger people are able to do what they do. But usually we follow the lead of how we were educated. Most people who are educated, whether they're black or white, are educated in a way like white supremacy ideology. So you actually have that in your mind, and you don't really know it. So we practice that. It's not like it's your fault. It's almost like you're hypnotized with that ideology, you know, and you exercise it. Now, moving along, you were talking about the drive-ins. Yes. I remember the drive-ins going back in my day, and that's where I honed my kissing skills, you know, at the drive-in.
Right.
And it was beautiful because it was the air is open, you get a chance to watch the movie, and if it's a movie you really like, and you're sitting there with somebody that you really like, it gave you a great, great feeling. So just being out there at night and seeing the screen, I can go back in time and see that. So I'm glad that they're bringing them back for the young folks. So I want y'all to enjoy it too, but I just wanted to give you a little piece of some of the things that we were doing back in the day.
I love it. Thank you so much for sharing.
That's
You're
true.
absolutely
Yes,
right.
ma'am. All right.
Thank you. I appreciate your call. Yeah, he touched on a lot of things, especially
Yes.
when you talk about the Harry Belafontes of the world and the Paul Robesons, you know, all those folks who actually, in so many cases, they lost their careers. Or some other things happened. There was threats. They were called communists. They were blacklisted, you know, but they needed to say what they said to give other folks the strength to speak up when they also got into a position of power or of influence.
Right. I agree. And I think that it's important that we have to be reminded that we can't, it's hard not to hold people accountable for what they don't know. You know, you can't hold people accountable because there's a whole generation that don't know what we know and didn't experience what we experienced. And so it's our job to teach it, but we can't some of it we can't even use today.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Yeah. So we have to actually sometimes ride off of the coattail of the people who are current. We can reach back in our grab bags and our past grab bags and remember and reminisce about what was. And we wish that we could use some of those philosophies today and take some of those actions today. But we can't. The world isn't set up like that anymore. We have to do it differently.
Yeah.
And so technology, and while I often hear a lot of people say, oh my God, these millennials and technology. Millennials did not create the foundation of the technology we use today. Baby boomers did. They just embraced it as it grew.
Right.
And we're sitting back saying, oh, I ain't getting on Facebook. I don't do that. They be all in my business. I ain't getting on no Facebook. What? They can see me. When they say follow, that means they behind me. Yeah, no, it doesn't.
That's a whole other conversation for real. We can go 2 hours on that alone.
Right. So I'm just saying that I love it that, yes, we should hold people, celebrities, accountable for using their audience and platform when we need them to do that.
Yeah.
And they should do it.
I got to put a pin in that. We got to take a break. Before we go to break, I want to remind you to join us this Tuesday, October 13th. WURD welcomes back its beloved host, Nick Taliaferro, for a brand new drive time show, Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro. Tune in every Monday through Thursday from 4 to 7 p.m. for the best in conversation and contemplation. The show will feature Nick's unique brand of wit, wisdom, and humor He talks with authors, experts, newsmakers, and of course, with you. Check him out. Evening Words with Nick Taliaferro starting this Tuesday, October 13th. And hey, don't touch the dial because you'll miss Sincerely Sarita at her new time, Monday through Thursday, 7 to 9 p.m. Her show is Safe Space with Sincerely Sarita. It will feature insightful, in-depth interviews with the most interesting voices in Philly and beyond. She brings the spirit of clarity and openness to Safe Space for an intergenerational dialogue and healing. Make sure you tune us in on WURD. Stay with us. We'll be right back with more conversation after this.
This is Pastor Alan Waller, and I want to remind you of the immortal words of Pastor Leon Sullivan, not burn, baby, burn, but build, baby, build. Since 1968, the Sullivan Progress Plaza has been the place of entrepreneurship in the Black community. We are still building, baby, build. And we want to invite you to come along with us if you seek to invest in our community and make a difference in the new world that we are going to create. For more information, call 215-232-7070. I want to invite you to be a part of the new future of Philadelphia.
The time is now to put an end to the chronic incompetence of Donald Trump and his League of Liars. Donald Trump makes a mockery of the institution of the presidency. He's polarized our country, and his dangerous policies must not continue. Joe Biden has the character, empathy, and experience to lead us through these challenging times. He helped lead the nation out of the 2008 financial crisis into the longest period of economic growth in our history, and he can do it again. As president, he will heal divisions and unite us around the shared values of justice. He'll create opportunities for quality education and good-paying jobs, and he'll build on the Affordable Care Act, not tear it down. While Donald Trump thinks coronavirus and climate change are a hoax, Joe Biden already has a coronavirus recovery plan and a strategy to create more jobs while also tackling the climate crisis. Vote for a president who will stand on the right side of history. Vote for Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. Paid for by Black PAC and Priorities USA Action. BlackPAC.com and PrioritiesUSAAction.org, which are responsible for the content of this advertising. Not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
If you're thinking of voting by mail this election, remember that it's safe, it's secure, and it counts. But there are a few things to keep in mind. While the application deadline is October 27th, you should apply now and send your ballot back as early as possible, before November 3rd. When it comes to sending it back, you can drop it in the mail, use a designated drop box, or return it to a satellite election office. To find one or for more information, visit PhiladelphiaVotes.com.
Enterprise Exterminators, located 4943 Wayne Avenue, specializing in lanternflies, termites, bedbugs, fleas, mice, and roaches. Do-it-yourself kits are available. Call now, 215-849-7070.
You're listening to The Source with Tiffany Bacon on WURD Radio. Streaming live on WURDradio.com and the WURD Radio app.
You call a heart before we start. Boy, you can keep it. I'm not impressed with fancy cars on the boulevard. Boy, you can keep it. And if you don't know, now you should know. Time to break the news. I'm going solo. It's a no-go. Don't want nothing from you. I feel it in my bones, bones, bones. Yeah. Every time we get close, close, close. He's a workaholic, professional scholar, full of excuses. Bitch, I'm a target. Bitch, I'm a target. You playing around. I can't keep laughing no face.
Welcome back, welcome back, and welcome back to this Friday edition of The Source. I'm Tiffany Bacon. We are wrapping up our program for the day. We're talking about entertainment in this section. It's possible we could lose movie theaters. We're hoping that doesn't happen. The pandemic has wreaked havoc on so many industries. The movie industry did not escape that.
Right.
But the drive-ins around Philly have popped up.
Yay.
Listen, Linda, you're not listening. I love me a good drive-in. I don't know. You know why? I can't say I don't know why. I will tell you exactly why I love drive-ins. My very first movie experience happened at a drive-in. The very first films I saw were in drive-ins. And here's the thing. I'm too old for my mom to get in trouble. I saw Jaws. I was 3 years old. 4. I was 4 years old. 4. years old when Jaws came out. I saw it at a drive-in. Now, granted, it scared the bejesus out of me, and I didn't want to take a bath because I thought the shark was going to swim up the drain and bite me. That is why I was not supposed to see that film, but I just begged my mom to see Jaws. So I think it's just the fact that my very first film experience was at a drive-in, watching movies like American Graffiti or what was the other one? Or was it Grease? Like all these different movies. Oh, The Outsiders for sure. Like all these different movies that depicted drive-ins, and going on a date to a drive-in was the thing to do. When they pretty much went away when I was old enough to go on dates, I was just like, but I missed out. So now they're back, and you can go check it out at the Man Music Center. It is a co-sponsorship situation with T-Mobile, as a matter of fact. And if you're looking for more information, just go to the Man Music Center's website, and they will show you what to do, how to get tickets. And again, the tickets are free. You can't beat that. Tickets are free.
It's the truth. Oh my God. Oh my gosh.
But here's the thing. You got to order your tickets early, because you'll see a film that you're like, oh yeah. And they're only showing, they're showing throwback films. So like Ghostbusters, it's October. So they're showing like Halloween and stuff like that. Beetlejuice, whatever. But it's like, okay, yeah, the experience of going to a drive-in, sure. For free, sure. It don't cost me anything but gas. But you have to order your tickets early, because they will absolutely sell out quick.
So drive-in or movie in general, my favorite hands down was to go to see Cooley High. Cooley High was the movie. It was the movie to go see. And after that, nothing else really mattered after Cooley High. It was just like, that was it. But I am excited that the big screen doesn't have to go away completely, even if movie theaters can't handle. And a lot of what movie theaters are struggling with is what most businesses are struggling with, being able to fill the building or the venue in order to pay employees that work there and service you when you get there. Because movie theaters too could bring the screen outside into the parking lot.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If you can't show it inside.
If they have a big parking lot.
Absolutely. Yeah. And most of them do. A lot of them do.
The inner city ones, no. But the ones on the outskirts.
But the suburbs, they do. They have big parking lots.
Hold on one second, Ms. K. I hate to cut you off, but we're going to close in a minute. But I want to take this caller. We have a caller on the line. I want to make sure she is heard. Ann is calling in on line 1. Good afternoon, Ann. You're live on air.
Hi, ladies. I know you're at the end. I want to say this about celebrities speaking out. Eartha Kitt and Frida Payne caught a lot of flack, too, back in the day.
Yes,
because Frida Payne had a song called Bring the Boys Home. And so when Eartha Kitt talked to Lady Lindenberg, she talked about the war herself. And they caught a lot of flack. But Eartha Kitt said later on, people were complimenting her about her speaking out for their children, their sons, and their fathers to bring them home from the war. Now, the last thing, I don't know if y'all heard, but I heard that Janet Jackson has throat cancer. Did y'all hear about that?
I did not.
No, I did not hear that either.
I have to check my sources on that. I did not hear that.
Yeah. There was something that went out earlier this week that she has throat cancer. All right, ladies, enjoy the weekend.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Yeah, I'll look into that. Sometimes there's so much fake news out there. People think they're looking at a reputable news source, and it's not. So I'm not saying, Ann, that you weren't looking at a reputable source. I just hadn't heard it, so I will find out, and we'll talk about it at a later date. Miss K, thank you so much.
Yes!
For part of the conversation today.
Always. It's always a blessing to hang out with you. It's always a blessing for us to dialogue about all things life. All things life.
All
okay?
Things life.
And listen, I'm going to continue to try to breathe on schedule.
Amen.
Okay?
Amen. Please
and
do.
I look forward to doing it again.
And we will. I thank you so much. Much love going out to all my guests today. And of course, where would I be without my amazing producer, Miss Kayla J. Kayla, diva, love you, ma'am.
Love you too.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Please don't forget we have a new lineup beginning next Tuesday and Monday. It's the onWURD Summit. Please be sure to tune in. It will be amazing. Have a peaceful, positive, and productive weekend. I will see you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.